You've seen it in the movies 1,000 times, right? A shimmering 3D person just appears out of thin air to deliver a critical message. Well, guess what? That science fiction is now officially science fact. Today, we're explaining exactly how holographic calls made the incredible leap from the Hollywood screen right into our world. I mean, we all remember Princess Leia's flickering blue message in Star Wars. For decades, that's what we thought of as a hologram. Kind of grainy, definitely futuristic, and always just over the horizon. But you know what? That horizon is here. As of 2025, those shimmering ghosts from the movies, they've become flesh-toned, totally photorealistic, and you can actually interact with them. It's wild. So what flipped the switch? How did we go from a cool special effect to the real deal? Well, first, we gotta get our heads around the core idea. It's called volumetric telepresence. I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, but trust me, that phrase is the key to all of this. Okay, and here's what makes this a complete game changer. This isn't just some fancy 3D movie you're watching on a screen. Nope. True volumetric telepresence captures and then displays a person in actual 3 dimensions. That means you could literally walk around their hologram, you could see them from the side, from the back, just as if they were standing right there in the room with you. So how does this magic trick actually work? Well, there wasn't one single eureka moment. It's actually better to think of it like solving a giant complex puzzle. 4 different, totally mature technologies all had to come together at the exact right time to unlock this thing. And here are the 4 big pieces of that puzzle. First, you needed ridiculously fast networks, like 5G and fiber optic. Second, you had to have these super sophisticated camera rigs that can see in 3D. Third, and this is a big one, you needed brilliant new software to compress all that data. And the final piece? These incredible new displays to bring it all to life. And when those 4 pieces finally clicked together, well, the impossible suddenly became possible. Okay, so let's walk through the whole process. On the surface, it sounds pretty simple, but in reality, it's incredibly complex. It all happens in 3 basic steps: capture, compress, and then display. And it all kicks off with capturing a person. Not like a flat picture, but as a living, 3-dimensional data sculpture. To do that, you need a rig that looks something like this. It's using a whole bunch of cameras and infrared sensors to map every single detail in 3D. Your posture, the way you shift your weight, even the tiniest little micro expressions on your face. So it's not just a video. It's a living, breathing digital twin of you right in that exact moment. Now this is the real miracle of the whole technology. That raw 3D data is absolutely gigantic. We're talking terabits per second of information. Trying to send that over the internet? Forget it. Completely impossible. But these revolutionary new compression algorithms, they take that data tsunami and shrink it all the way down to a manageable stream of just 30 to 80 megabits per second. And that is something a normal home internet connection can handle. This compression part, that's what really made the impossible possible. All right, now for the grand finale, the display. Once that super compressed data arrives where it's going, there are 2 competing technologies basically in a showdown, fighting to create that stunning illusion of presence. So this chart breaks down the 2 main ways they do it. On one side, you've got light field displays. The best way to think about these is like a magic window. You look into a box or a frame and you see a perfect 3D image inside. Then on the other side, you have true laser holography. Now this is the stuff you see in the movies. It actually uses lasers to project photons into the air, creating a real 3D object that a bunch of people can walk around and see from any angle, with no screen at all. And I want to be clear, this tech isn't just some cool lab experiment anymore. It is already out there in the real world, being used in some incredibly important ways, from saving lives in hospitals to connecting families across entire continents. The impact in medicine is already just profound. The best specialists in the world can now literally beam into any operating room anywhere. Just imagine this. A top heart surgeon in London appears life-size in a hospital in Dubai. They can walk around a 3D model of the patient's heart, pointing out exactly what the local team needs to do. It's amazing. And look, this isn't just about convenience. When patients and other doctors say they feel like the remote specialist is really there, it changes everything. That sense of actual presence has been shown to measurably reduce critical errors during procedures. It builds this level of trust and clear communication that, let's be honest, a flat Zoom screen could never, ever achieve. And it's not just some niche technology either. The communication platforms you and I use every single day are already getting on board. Microsoft, Cisco, Zoom, they're all rolling out holographic features. That means this is about to go from high-end medical tech to a tool for our business meetings and personal calls very, very quickly. But maybe the most powerful example we've seen was this one viral clip that showed the world the incredible emotional potential of this tech. It was a grandmother in Brazil who was able to reach out and seemingly touch her grandson's cheek in Spain, all through one of these holographic displays. It's a moment that just shows a level of connection that's really beyond words. But, the road to having a hologram in every single home isn't perfectly smooth. Before this becomes as common as something like FaceTime, there are some pretty major technical and also human hurdles we've got to overcome. The obstacles really fall into two big camps. On the technical side, you have the kind of issues you'd expect: bringing the costs down, making sure people have the bandwidth, making the capture setup less fussy. But the human hurdles? Whoa, those are much bigger. I mean, think about it for a second. A full 3D scan of your body is probably the most personal data you could ever share. And that just raises these enormous questions about privacy, about security, and the terrifying potential for deepfake manipulation. And yet, despite those hurdles, the momentum here is just undeniable. The biggest names in tech are betting big on this future, and the path to this becoming a mainstream thing is getting clearer every single day. This timeline just shows you how fast this is all moving. I mean, in the span of about 1 year, we're seeing this go from a smartphone prototype to major software rollouts from giants like Microsoft and Zoom. And with other huge players like Apple expected to jump in, this technology is shrinking, it's getting cheaper, and it is heading straight for our pockets. And as this technology moves from the boardroom into our living rooms, it forces us to ask some really huge questions about what our future is going to look like. Are you going to travel less for work? Could this actually cure the loneliness so many remote workers feel? And what does it even mean to be together when a family member can just materialize on your couch from thousands of miles away? Ultimately, this isn't just a new feature for your video calls. It is a fundamental shift in how we connect as human beings. And it leaves us with one powerful, lingering question. What will our world truly look like and feel like when physical distance is no longer a barrier to genuine human presence?